apologize, and I know that for you it is also difficult. That's why I gave you a copy of the printout. On the column on this side over here is the way that RayvenRarities descriptions were written before we did any work.
The one on the left?
Yes, ma'am, this one.
Oh my. Okay.
And the one on the right is the one that we did some reworking on.
Yeah.
And I realize that it's a little difficult to see, but this is the description that pulled up. Now, in December of 2008, let me move out of the way, the average visit duration on any of her listings was 0.14 seconds on a listing.
Oh my.
Or the minute, I'm sorry, the minute. In March of 2009, before we started the pre-bullet, the average visit duration was 0.37. So it had increased. But you have to keep in mind that she's been online all through the selling season, all of September, October, November, December,
yeah,
January, February, and March. We're looking at 7 months. Yeah. And her average stay was still at 0.37. 7 months on the internet, and we can't get somebody to stay on a listing for even a minute. I am a speed reader, and I can't read that fast. That tells me that somebody's clicking out.
Yeah.
So I talked her into doing the pre-bullet and to doing some bullet lists and I had to go back and forth, and this is what you need to do with your bullets, and we still have some more tweaking to do with her listings. But she began the first week of April. After the first week, starting April 11th, we started tracking results again. It jumped in here we go in March. In April, it went to 1.55. We're talking almost 2 minutes on a listing. She's done nothing. We've changed no images. We have done nothing but reformat the description. That's it. Then in May, and these statistics were on Thursday, I pulled these stats on Thursday night from her site meter. It has dropped down, and it keeps bumping every day. Some days it's 1.56, and some days it's 1.50, and then it goes up to 1.53. But I ran a monthly average, and so the average on it is 1.5 or 1.51. It's still almost 2 minutes on a listing. Almost 2 minutes. So look at the difference that we've had just by going through and reworking our listing. Now, I also put a graph in your handout, and for those of you who are watching remotely, if you cannot see, I will apologize immensely, and I'm going to move back here so I can see a little better and do this. All right, see this little bullet here? All right, that is in December, and I have got the stats in front of me. In December, in the strongest selling season, the average, she had exactly 6 visits to all of her Bonanza listings. Pre-bullet. Then we move up to March, and I actually put it out here so you can see it. In March we jumped up, and here we are through December, and now we're in January, February, but all of March we have 28. 28! In a month that has 31 days, and we have 28 visits, that means that somebody did not find a listing.
3 days.
Exactly. And during the other, that's one time. I mean, that's not very good odds of selling something when you can't be served up any more than that, if your listing's not being opened. Then we jump up, and I'm reading these on here on my paper, as I cannot remember all of them. Then in the week of April the 11th, which is right here, all right, this is when we started the bulleted list, and I want you to look. Here is not bullet. Here is bulleted list. And we changed the formatting only. That's it. 330 in 1 week. That is a significant increase. Then on the week of the 18th, which is right here, it jumped to 590. 590. That is huge increase. Then you go and you start looking in here on the week of the 25th, it was at 520. You'll see that there's a slight decrease. Then you will look up in the week of May the 1st, which is right here, and we're at 503. Then we had a major spike, which is May right here, and we jumped all the way up to 841 visits. 841. We're talking about 30 days, dropping from 28 all the way up to 890. And we've done nothing but change our formatting. Yes, sir.
How many visits is this, or how many listings is this based on, these figures?
On this, I'm sorry, I really have not pulled up. She doesn't have a huge booth, and I do not know.
Oh, well, in other words,
Pam, can you get on Bonanza and email RayvenRarities? She's on the general tab and ask her how many listings. She hasn't increased her listings. She hasn't.
When it dipped a little bit, after you did this good work on it.
Yes, sir. This dips in here.
Could that mean that she sold some stuff and listed no longer available?
Well, part of this is going to be during vacations and spring break times. So you're talking about spring break, Easter weekends are rolling around, and you have to remember across the United States, the spring breaks don't run at the same time. You have a 3-week span that you have spring breaks. Because we tend to think, we forget about this kind of stuff. Is that if you're on spring break, are you on the internet?
Nope.
Well, I am, because I carry my laptop everywhere with me. But for the most part, when you go on vacation, you don't shop. My husband doesn't. Now, I'm online because I have things I have to take care of. And I do tech support for different companies. So I have to take care of those things. But as far as shopping, I'm not going to shop. So you have to expect the decline. For instance, this week, Catherine and I were looking, is that had a decline. Like, that's normal. Think about what everybody's doing. The ball games got rained out. So now we got to do all the ball games that were 10 days ago. They've got to finish this week. They're not out of town. They're at the ballpark. Yes.
She's got 304 items.
She has 304 items. It hasn't varied a great deal. Thank you very much for checking. I appreciate it. Thank you. Because I can't.
304 items, Wayne.
Yes.
Or that's what she has now.
Yes. And then it dropped down where we're right here. The other day, whenever I pulled the statistics right before we left, we were at 676 at the end of the 16th. So in all reality, we're talking about a significant increase. Now, you hear people complain about, I'm not selling anything. Now, I think in terms of retail. Because I'm a retailer first, and I do online sales is a second part of our business. So I'm thinking about, I have a 30,000 square foot building, and I tell you what, it is stuffed full of stuff. My girls have to be musicians to get things in our store because my husband is a buyaholic, and he's always bringing in a semi of something. So I'm thinking about, if I sell 10% or 20% of all the stuff that I have in a 30,000 square foot building, can you imagine the lines at my cash register during an 8-hour business day? I mean, my girls wouldn't get a break.
Yeah.
The bottom line is I don't sell 20%. I mean, we run good money, but I'm not selling 20% of what I've got out of the stock. I have a 30,000 square foot building. It's hanging off the rafters. So you'll put 28 items online, and then, all right, what is 10% of 28 items? That's 3 items in a 30-day time. So if you sell 3 items or 6 items and you're selling 20% of your inventory, that's really good return. It genuinely is. You have to think about what you're offering the public, and you have to keep seasonal with your public. Right, you asked me,